And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be wrapping up the Beast Tribe quest of Stormblood. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here in Kugane at 1310, and we need to talk to the East Aldenar Training Company assistant. Now, in order to unlock this quest, you have to have finished all the Beast Tribes up to rank 8 Bloodsworn. So the Namazu, the Anata, and the Kojin. So let's talk to this person. The quest is called the Anata's Maid's Tale. So Hancock's apprentice is peering about in earnest. So, Mistress Menethil, Hancock sent me to look for you. I'm glad to have found you so close by. He said he needs to meet with you, but wasn't clear on the details. I suppose he'd rather explain it to you in person. Would you mind taking a moment to speak with him? He's over at the harbour. So, thank you. Just make your way to Pier 2, if you please. I'll let Hancock know he can find you there. Okay, so we need to go to there. Let's go. Okay, here we are. So, let's arrive. We're waiting for Hancock. So, Mithrie, my friend, good to see you again. So, thank you for coming to meet me, though I confess that I knew you would. You are such an agreeable sort, always ready to help your friends and close acquaintances. So, there's no need for such facial exertion. My request is a straightforward one. As it happens, I've been asked to escort a few members of the Alamegan resistance on a tour of Kugane. It seems that they are interested in seeing the fortifications that have allowed Hingashi to survive as an isolationist nation for so long. I've never met them, and it occurred to me that the presence of someone such as yourself, who has an established rapport with the resistance, might smoothen our introduction. What say you? Right you are, my bosom companion. If I just have to stand there, fine. Lol. So Mithrie's got sass all of a sudden. So good to hear, particularly as they'll be here any moment. So by my estimation, they should be disembarking just about now. Aha, and right I am. So, esteemed members of the Resistance, welcome to Kugane. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Hancock of the East Aldenar Trading Company, and I will be your guide to this fair city. I appreciate your coming to meet us. I'm Alpa, captain of the Volodian Gatekeepers. And I'm Jahilm, Alpa's second in command. Pleasure to meet you. Is that you, Mithrie? Fancy meeting you here of all places. What a pleasant surprise. Are you here to show us around? Now that is an excellent proposal, Miss Alpa. I'm certain the two of you would feel more at ease seeing the city with someone you know. Don't you agree, Mithrie? So in that case, I shall leave the role of guide to you. Meanwhile, I can secure accommodations for our guests. I get the feeling that you didn't have much choice there. Sorry about all this. So, if it's alright, I'd like to visit the castle first. I'm eager to see its fortifications. Awesome. So, Kugane Castle. Okay, thankfully it teleported us right there. So, 'tis beautiful. It does look nice, but I can't imagine it's much use as a fortress. It's too decorative. So what unusual attire? I can see you are not native to Kugane. May I ask where you hail from? By the Kami, that tale is real. Are you a mermaid? Don't be absurd. I'm no mermaid, I'm an Anata. There are many like Alpa in Alamigo, our homeland. There's no need to be alarmed. Ah, so you are of a Western race then. Pardon me, I jumped to conclusions. It can be somewhat dull guarding the gate here, particularly as only an utter fool would try and break in. So I sometimes let my imagination get the best of me. It's alright, no offense taken, but if you have a moment, would you mind telling us more about this castle? I'm curious as to how a single guard at the gate is sufficient to keep it secure. Of course, I'm no expert, but I will gladly teach you what I know. Consider it an apology for my rudeness. The central keep that towers above us is of a complex and strategic make, incorporating myriad defensive elements. As you can see, the most prominent part of the facade features regular openings from which to unleash a veritable hail of arrows or musket rounds. We call these sama, and they make it nigh on impossible for an enemy to approach from the front. Similarly, those unlucky souls who attempt to scale the walls are likely to be met by tumbling boulders or boiling oil released by those manning the many brattices. Should one somehow manage to infiltrate the castle proper, he will find it a trial to get out again, for the pathways inside are maze-like by design. To think something could be so elegant in both form and function, I'm impressed. All that said, the castle has been taken before. Not too long ago, an unscrupulous sort named Kageyama and his underlings managed to sneak in during one of Bugyo's galas, taking advantage of the stream of people entering the castle, which mainly goes to show that all of the clever defences in the world would mean nothing if you failed to check who's coming through the front door. A most instructive tale. Thank you. I had a feeling that I would find you here. Your accommodations are ready. Since your journey was a long one, I recommend that you stop for a soak in Kugane's famed hot springs before you continue your sightseeing. I can personally vouch for their efficacy in soothing body and soul. In that case, how could we refuse? That's settled then. Just make your way to the Bocaro Inn at your leisure. I must return to the Ruby Bazaar, but I've ensured that you will find everything in order. So my first Hinjan hot springs. I hope you'll join us, Mithrie. She really is a fairy tale mermaid come to life. The other bathers are in for a surprise. Okay, so we have to go all the way to the inn. So let's go. Okay, here we are. So this inn is spectacular. I've never seen anything like it, and to think that we can just go right in. I wish I could show it to Gales, though it might be safer not to. Anyway, Jolhim went inside to change ages ago, but it doesn't seem like she's coming out anytime soon. She does wear an awful lot of armor. Why don't we have a look around while we wait for her? There's no harm in that, right? Okay, so we need to find her. Okay, so she's curious, I guess. She wants to explore Kugane. So let's go in. So, seeing as it only made me want to get in more, Joel him won't mind if we meet her in the water, right? Right, let's go. Unless you need some time to change into your bathing suit as well. I hear it's customary to wear one, at least in Kugane. Okay, so enter the hot springs in your current garb. No. Okay, let me change. Don't ask. Don't ask. So this feels wonderful. I am so glad we came to Hingashi. It's nice to properly relax once in a while. Look there. Is that a mermaid? That tail, those scales. Unmistakably a mermaid. I can't believe they've been real this whole time. And they're here in our hot springs. This is ridiculous. I'm clearly no fish. Ha! I suppose people who've never seen an Anata just don't know what else to make of you. Well, I never. Mermaids in the bath. Did someone say mermaid? Okay. So, what's this? A seeker, and one with most unfortunate features at that. Not as unfortunate as your manners, and I would say something about the creepy mask, but I reckon the face beneath is even worse. Now, I am meant to believe that you don't recognize me. Jab. You certainly have the look of an Eorzean, but perhaps my legacy has not yet reached whatever drab little corner of the realm you call home. Yes. On closer inspection, I can see that our Far Eastern friends simply mistook serpent for fish. Not that it matters for my purposes, of course. I can hardly believe that I came upon a convincing substitute so soon. That's enough of your leering. What are you doing? Get your hands off me. Alpa? I swear, you masked maniac, if you've done something to Alpa. It's funny, I thought only to make a bit of coin of my travels through this foreign land, but seems the beastmen and I are simply meant to be. In any case, I'll be helping myself to this one. I welcome a challenge, so feel free to hunt me down, if you can. Ha 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 ha. Cool. So let's wear clothes again. So, Hells take that Nahaza. And what is he anyway? I can't believe he managed to snatch Alpa right from under us. No, now's not the time. Our first priority needs to be tracking them down. Thankfully, if the locals' reactions so far are anything to go by, I'm sure they stood out. We can start by asking around. Okay. So, let us look for witnesses. Okay, here we are. So, Makote, ma'am. I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. Alright, I'm talking about someone with ears like mine. Male, a bit odd in the facial area. He might have been behaving strangely too. Does that ring a bell? So you folks are called Makote. I've seen quite a few of you around Kugane of late, and there was a man fitting that description over by the short pier when I passed by not too long ago. I guess we're headed seaside then. Thanks for your help. Okay, so let's go. Okay, here we are. So this is not what I was expecting in a variety of ways. So now that we have found him, I suppose we ought to make sure he doesn't die. We're going to need him to wake up first though. I don't know, maybe poke him in the face? And you're sure he's not already dead? In that case, we'll have to get creative. And I have just the thing. Well, he does anyhow. Just as I thought, he never leaves home without his Mark XL2 grenades. I don't know what L is in Roman numerals. I assume that he took the time to remove some of the powder after his prior experiences, so they should be safe enough. Lob one in his general direction, would you? I'll stand back a bit, just in case. Okay. So let's throw the grenade. That's funny. So we're throwing a grenade to wake him up. Ah! I believe I at last truly grasp the meaning of the phrase a rude awakening, which is to say, ow. Make no mistakes, I am delighted to see you, Mithrie, but I would appreciate it if you would put a little more thought into your method of greeting next time. I was having such a nice dream too. I can't say I expected quite that large of an explosion. I thought for sure you'd remember to take the powder out this time. But why are you here anyway? Gah! So your attire is rather less present than usual. Ah, now that you mention it, I did forget to put my uniform back on, didn't I? More importantly though, we have a serious problem in our hands. Or on our hands. Mizette, are you listening to me? Yes, I'm listening, and definitely making a normal amount of eye contact. So, but never mind that. Alpa's been kidnapped. I saw her being carried away by a man with the most peculiar mask. You saw him? Yes. Yes, as it happens. I stowed away on your ship to get here, and that went perfectly smoothly. Thank you very much, until you two disembarked and ran off, leaving me without a clue where to go. As I was wandering about aimlessly as one does, I saw the masked man with Alpa in tow. I called out to them, and he hit me, without so much as a warning. Before I fully lost consciousness, however, I witnessed something vital. He and Alpa boarding a small boat. I'm positive they were headed out to sea. Then there's no moment to waste. We'll board a ship at once. You too, Miss Het. So, of course, I will never abandon Alpa in her time of need. In fact, I shall begin scanning the seas in search of any passing vessel that can carry us away right this moment. Feel free to say, put on a coat while I do. Okay, so let's complete this quest. Okay, so the next quest is called Ruby Seas Under Ruby Skies. So I'm assuming the Kojin are going to get involved. So Jolhim is more than ready to set to tracking Nazim's jab across the sea. Guru, just wait till I get my hands on that Nazar's jab. At least we have some idea where he's heading with Alpa thanks to Mizet. I've decided to reward him by not pushing him into the sea, even though he's making it so very tempting. More importantly, where do you reckon we should start our search? They likely pass by the ruby price. Well, what are we waiting for? So, Jolhim, where are you going? Okay, so we have to go to the ruby price, which is right there. So, let's go. Okay, so we made it to ruby price. So now let's talk to Jolhim. So, right, now we're here. Let's spread up and ask anyone has seen the Mass Mikote and a mermaid about. An excellent plan. Ah, it's nice to have everything back to normal. This had better not be about my attire again. And if you hadn't noticed, Alpa has been kidnapped by a mass maniac. So go find some eyewitnesses before I change my mind about drowning you. I never did get to tell her that her swimsuit was fetching, but at least I managed not to make a fool of myself. Okay, so let's ask around. So, a man wearing a sinister mask? He certainly hasn't passed through here. I would know. I've been looking for suspicious persons to fire at all day. Okay, fair enough. And where's the next one? Let's take a looky. Is he there? Nope. There they are, down here. So, a suspicious man with a mermaid. Very funny. You Westerners and your jokes. Okay, so they didn't see anything. Let's ask her. Any luck? Nope. So you too, huh? It seems that we've hit a dead end here. I haven't the slightest idea what to do now, though. Wah! So, what has he gotten himself into this time? Come on, Mithrie. Aha, a Kojin. So what is the meaning of this? First you burst out of the water like some sort of sea monster, and now you threaten me with a blade? I don't even know who you are, or what you are. You know not what you stole from me, but you shall come to regret it. Tsukumo is more precious than any treasure. Return him at once. Help me, Mithrie. I'm being beset by this turtle man. Ah, Mithrie, what an odd coincidence. Or not a coincidence at all, since you two seem to know each other, in which case you have my apologies. I should not have drawn my blade without preamble. Think nothing of it. As the future leader of the M tribe, I was not all alarmed by your sudden menacing advance. Not in the least. I am Mizet, by the way, and any friend of Mithrie's is a friend of mine. I am honored to meet you. My name is Kabuto, and I lead the Blue Divines Circle. The name is Jolhim. I'm with the Volodnia. I don't know why I find that word so difficult to pronounce. gatekeepers in Alamigo. Can I ask why you were on the point of skewering Mizet? Ah, in my haste, I unfortunately mistook him for a thief who recently snatched Tuscumo from my helmet. What precisely is this Tuscumo? You seem rather keen on getting it back. Tuscumo is my dearest companion and guide, who once walked beside me as a Karakuri puppet, blessed with a soul. He is now present only as Mithrie, but continues to watch over me. Wait, wasn't Nazam holding something that looked an awful lot like Mithrie when we saw him in the hot springs? Could that have been Tuscumo? If so, it would mean that he robbed Kabuto before kidnapping Alpa, and that we almost certainly won't find him on the Ruby Sea. But why not? If it were me, I wouldn't want to risk my prize being retaken by its rightful owner, and fending Kabuto off would be a sight more difficult with Alpa in tow. I put my money on Nazar's having made for land as quickly as possible. A reasonable conclusion. Assuming he was headed for Ophard, the most direct route would have taken him through the village of Isari. To Isari we go. We'll follow your lead, Kabuto. Okay, so we now need to go all the way to Isari. Let's go. Okay, here we are. We arrived. So, what a charming little fishing town. Would that we were here for some relaxing sightseeing, but we have a villain to catch and a captain to save. So let's get to it. Meet me back here once you've gathered as much information as you can. Okay, so we need to find 3 people, 3 witnesses. Okay, I think they're actually really close by. Okay, there's 1. There's 2. So a suspicious man and a mermaid with them. There ain't many suspicious sorts coming round our little village, and you'll pardon me for saying so, but it don't seem likely that a mermaid could keep such company. Okay, and the 3rd one's over there. I haven't seen your mystery man, but I can tell you that mermaids have been a subject of some discussion around here as of late. You see, local legend has it that somewhere out there, far from the sight and grasp of the ordinary man, are what we called Hingans. So, what we Hingans call the 3 wonders, mermaid's flesh being one. It's said to grant life eternal, be that for better or for worse. A few moons past, a young lady born to one of Kugane's oldest and wealthiest families proclaimed that should any gentleman presume to ask her hand in marriage, she would accept nothing less than all 3 wonders as a dowry. It's a fool errand, certain enough. We Hingans love our fairy stories as well as any folk, but we know the 3 wonders are no more than fantasy. You have to admire her clever ploy to remain unwed, though, which is why it's the talk of the land. Okay, so let's now talk to the 3rd one. So, a masked man carrying a mermaid, frankly, I'm not even sure I could imagine such a sight, and I certainly haven't witnessed it. I did see a man with a curious mask though. He made landfall in a small boat, and I assume departed on foot soon thereafter. As I haven't seen him since, I'd wager that he'd made for the Azim Steppe or Yansha, like most who pass through here. Okay, so let us return to Jolhim. Okay, here we are. So now we're all back. Let's share what we've learned. Hopefully between the 4 of us we'll have heard enough to go on. So Nazar's was indeed sighted, but no one can confirm which direction he departed in. And if your source is correct, Alper is no longer with him. Did he stash her somewhere before landing in Asari? And where is he now? The Three Wonders may provide a clue. According to folklore, the treasures are Mithrie, the Jewel of Fair Souls, and the Philosopher's Fin. I shudder to think of the young lady being forced to marry Nazar's of all people. But based on his theft so far, it does seem like he is collecting the wonders, or treasures with passing similarity to them at least. Indeed, if Tuscumo is his substitute for the Jewel of Fair Souls, and your Alper is meant to be the source of Mithrie, that leaves only one. Flesh certainly applies a level of dismemberment that I'm not comfortable with. We have to stop him. Yes, I realise that. If you have any brilliant ideas as to how, now's the time. We can't allow him to stay one step ahead of us. Okay, let's complete. So, anyway, guys, I don't want the episodes to become too long, so we're gonna hopefully wrap up the beast drives in the next episode. So, anyway, guys, if you like that video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there, you can watch the latest upload down there, or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.